Good day, everyone, and today we're going to talk about the respiratory system, nervous system, and endocrine system. First, respiratory system. Respiratory system or respiration is a physiological process that is responsible for the provision of oxygen from the air or water in the environment to the cells of the body and removing the cellular gas waste carbon dioxide from the cells of the environment. The environment from which the animal absorbs the needed gas can be in water or air. Absorbing oxygen from water is more difficult because it is denser and more viscous than air. There are also challenges with aquatic animals in cold water compared with the aquatic animals in warm water. That's due to the more oxygen is being dissolved in the cold water. In the respiratory system, the exchange of gas between the organism and its environment has two phases: the external respiratory respiration and internal respiration. In external respiration, it occurs between the animal fluid and the surrounding medium in the external environment, while the internal respiration takes place between the blood and the tissue of the body. The exchange of gases in respiratory surfaces is influenced by the following: the size, the gas concentration, respiratory protein. Um, in respiration in animals, we have different kinds of it. First is the respiration through the diffusion. This organism does not have a respiratory nor a circulatory system. The gases diffuse across the surfaces of the outer body. Um, the small size of the and simplicity of the animal allow this gas diffusion. Um, these gases passively move from high to low concentration point. The closed integumentary system of the animal distributes the gases across the integuments. Um, Next, we have the respiration through the gills. All fishes have gill slits. Gills are filamentous or plate-like respiratory organ that increase the surface area available for the exchange of gas or gas exchange. These organs function only in the water and can be internal or external. The hemolymph or blood passes through the gills and exchange the carbon dioxide with the oxygen in the water. In the respiration through the gills, we have two types of fishes: the jawless fish and the bony fish. In where the jawless fish have gill slits visible on the surface of their body, while bony fish have movable covers from the gills called gill covers. Under the gill covers are the gills, gill arcs, gill filaments, and capillary beds. Next, we have the respiration in the amphibians. One example of this is the frog, in which the larvae of the amphibian usually have external gills, but as long as they grow, the gills are replaced with the lungs. Mature amphibian sucks air through the nostrils by lowering the floor of the mouth and lifting the throat. The thin skin of the body's surface also allows the gas exchange. Next, we move to the human respiration. Um, the human body can survive without food or water for several days, but without oxygen, the body can only survive for at least or only 3 to 6 minutes. That's due to the body cells and the tissues needing more oxygen to make use of the energy from food for the different body processes. Um, the sum of all the biological processes by which the chemical energy of food is released to provide the energy needed is called cellular respiration. And we move to the human respiratory system. It is composed of the nasal passageway, the pharynx, the larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, lungs, and alveoli. or alveoli. Um, Next, we have the lungs, which is which visualization of a normal lungs at rest, in which the normal lungs at rest has the elastic recoil of the chest wall tries to pull the chest wall outward, and the elastic recoil of the lungs creates an inward pull. Next, we have a respiratory cycle. We have two respiratory cycle. One is inhalation and one is exhalation. In inhalation, we take up oxygen. We inhale oxygen, active period, muscle contraction, chest cavity expansion, stretch lungs, increase the intrapulmonary volume, decrease lungs pressure. Uh, in the intrapulmonary pressure drops below the atmospheric pressure the at- of the atmosphere. Next, we have the exhalation. We give off given off or breathe out carbon dioxide. Passive period, muscle relaxation, chest cavity deflation, increased lung pressure, and intrapulmonary pressure rises above the atmospheric pressure of 1 atmosphere. Next, we have the pressure gradient. Uh, this is the pressure gradient when we breathe in, breathe out, or inhale, exhale. Next, we have the human respiratory system from airways to the alveoli. Next, we have the airflow into the pharynx. Next, we have the muscle and respiration. We're gonna talk about the diaphragm in here, which in the diaphragm is the broad dome-shaped smooth muscle beneath the lungs. It is also a major muscle of the respiration. Um, it also helps in inhale and exhale. Um, Next, we have the or different malfunction and different disorder found in the respiratory system. We have the tumor, airway obstruction, carbon monoxide poisoning, mesothelioma, tuberculosis, emphysema, asthma, and bronchitis. Next topic is endocrine system. In endocrine system, the endocrine system the endocrine system sends chemical messages, and the nervous system sends the electrochemical messages. The coordination of the body function is controlled by the nervous system and the endocrine system. Um, we have in the endocrine system we have two kinds of endocrine organs. One is the primary endocrine organs, and the second is the secondary endocrine organ. The function of the primary organ is to secrete hormones, while the secondary organ have other functions not related to the endocrine system, or these have a non-endocrine primary function. The regulation of the endocrine system involves with a different body organ. It can have a positive or negative feedback controls, but mostly negative feedback. This feedback system involves stimulus, receptor, control center, and response. Next, we have different kinds of hormones. We have the lipid-derived hormones, which are hormones derived from the fats and lipids. Amino acid-derived hormones are derived from the amino acids such as the tyrosine and tryptophan. Uh, Peptide hormones are hormones that contains polypeptide chains and are synthesized from prohormones. We also have different kinds of hormones in this graph. We move to the animal endocrine system. Um, The animal endocrine system of cat and dogs are very similar to the human in terms of structure and function. These also have pituitary glands, thyroid glands, parotid glands, pancreas, adrenal glands, and ovaries and testes. We have this is the primary endocrine organ, and this is the secondary endocrine organ. Um, this is the disorders found in endocrine system: acromegaly, disease, adrenal insufficiency, goiter, hyperthyroidism or hypothyroidism, Cushing disease, hypersection in is of GH, polycystic ovarian syndrome, tumor of the pituitary glands, type 1 diabetes. Next topic we have is the nervous system. Uh, Nervous system of the invertebrates and vertebrates are, I think it's different. They have you have difference. Um, in the invertebrates can have a nerve nets, segmented nerve trunks, and ganglia. Invertebrates animals, the central nervous system is positioned in the dorsal part of the body and composed of the brain and the spinal cord. Um, the nervous system can be divided into anatomically into the central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. The CNS, or the central nervous system, consists of the brain and the spinal cord, while the PNS sends signals from the CNS into the different organs through the nerve and ganglia. The peripheral nervous system can be automatic or somatic nervous system. In the somatic nervous system, this communicates with the sense organs and the voluntary muscles. And we have the autonomic nervous system. It is the system that communicates with the internal organs and glands. This can be sympathetic, arousing, or a parasympathetic, calming system or nerves. Um, the sympathetic nervous system is considered as the flight or flight response of the body. It prepares the body for intense physical activity and perceived threats, while the parasympathetic nervous system is considered to have the rest and digest function. It has the exact opposite effect of the sympathetic nervous system. It rela- it relaxes the body and inhibits high energy function. Um, Next, we have nervous system in the brain, part of the nervous system, which have different parts and specialized for its function. It has four major parts. The brainstem. The brainstem, it is the structure that connects the brain and the spinal cord. Cerebellum is located at the back of the brainstem. It controls the motor functions. It allows the balance and coordinations. Uh, the encephalon is located above the brainstem. It contains the endocrine glands, such as the pineal glands, hypothalamus, and the pituitary glands, while the cerebellum is the largest part of the brain. Next, we have the still part of the brain, but we're gonna focus on the occipital or the lobes, which is the occipital lobes, which focus on the vision, parietal lobes, which focus on the sensation, perception, and specialized reasoning, frontal lobes, decision making, problem solving, consciousness, and emotion. Temporal lobes is learning, memory, hearing, language. Next, we have the nervous system. In the nervous system, we have the spinal cord and nerves. Part of the CNS continues with the medulla oblongata to the verbal area. It divides into each dark portion butterfly-shaped gray matter surrounded by a white matter. There are 31 pairs of spinal nerves that connects the spinal cord to the rest of the body. Mm. Spinal cords also have several branches called rami. Um, these are dorsal, posterior ramus, the ventral or anterior ramus, the meningeal ramus, and the rami communicants. Yes. Um, Next, we have senses of the body. These are general senses and special senses. The general senses are distributed throughout the skin, while the special senses includes the senses of sight, hearing, smell, and taste. Reflex and reflex action and reflex art. Reflex is the simplest complete reaction of the nervous system. This involves the definite arrangement of the nervous structures along which the nerves impulse pass and give rise to the reactions. Um, it has it has five basic components: the sensory receptors, sensory neutrons, interneurons or neuron located between the communicating with two neutrons, motor neurons, effective organs. Next, we have the disorders found in the nervous system. First is the elimination of axons, mul- multiple sclerosis, Guillain-Barré syndrome, meningitis, encephalitis, Alzheimer's disease, and amyotrophic lateral sclerosis or ALS, and Parkinson's disease. In the end, that's all. Thank you.